Well, yeah, I mean, who's going to be the manager? That's the biggest thing. You know, we're getting knocked back by, managers all over the world, and you're going, who's it going to be? Graham Potter, Scott Parker, Eddie Howe, getting talked about.
Okay, you've given me 3 names there. Every one of those names, with the greatest of respect, and they've done things in the game, no doubt, but, well, maybe not Scott Parker, got promotion, I suppose, but are any of them worthy of Spurs? And when I say that, I'm not talking about what Spurs have won, because it's not been a great amount. I'm talking about what Spurs are hoping to achieve, where they're hoping to be. Are those the names that take them there, really?
Well, you got to look at it from, when we had Pochettino, we propelled ourselves to a Big Six club. So then you could attract a manager like Jose Mourinho. You can't go from Jose Mourinho to Graham Potter,
no,
in my opinion. That is just a massive downfall in where you are as a football club. And, you can't... I thought Pochettino, look, he come from Southampton. He was young. He was brilliant, unbelievable. Propelled himself to stardom. And then you go, right, it hasn't worked out. The players weren't good enough for him. They let him down. He got the sack. And you bring in Jose Mourinho and you go, great. That now we're going to do something again. Hasn't worked out again. So a new manager is going to come in, and you're seeing it with managers now. They're looking at it going, I don't know if I fancy this. Why would I go to Spurs with this squad at the minute? Harry Kane wants out. You've seen it in his interview. That was almost a verbal transfer request. Gareth Bale's basically said that he's only here to get fit for the Euros, and Son will probably want to leave if them two go as well. So as a manager, you're going to go, a big manager is going to go, I don't fancy it. So maybe we are only capable of getting a Scott Parker or a Graham Potter. But I don't see that. That's a fall from grace, in my opinion. And I like Scott Parker. I think he's brilliant. But Spurs, if Fulham do get relegated, I think it'd be good. I do think it'd be good for Spurs, Scott Parker. I really do. And a lot of people say, Graham Potter's a better manager, but I think Scott has got something about him where he's a bit special. But it is a fall from grace for Spurs if you're getting a manager from a relegated Fulham.
Well, these the 3 managers you've named are all bottom of the half of the table managers. As well as you might think Eddie Howe has done, and taking Bournemouth from where they were to establishing them in the Premier League for 4 or 5 years, that is really impressive. But that's not what Spurs need. They don't need taking from League 2 and establishing in the Premier League. They're established in the Premier League.
What we need is Daniel Levy to leave. That's what we need, but it ain't going to happen. I was speaking to some Spurs fans yesterday. I've been speaking to them all over the weekend about, protests and things like that. You can protest all you want at Spurs. They ain't leaving. Joe Lewis ain't selling that football club, and Daniel Levy ain't leaving. That is a business. So whatever happens, Spurs are stuck with that. So there needs to be some sort of positivity going forward with what they do next, with a manager, with the group, with a rebuild, whatever it is. Something needs to change at Spurs because it's not going right. What
I would say is, if I call him Graham Plodder, which is a little bit disrespectful, I think he is better than that. But there's a pedestrian way that Brighton play that some people seem to love. I look at the lack of goals and think, well, it's got to get better than that. Potter, Parker, or Eddie Howe. And then I look at Antonio Conte, who's just won the title at Inter Milan.
Please.
That's who Spurs should be trying to attract to their football club. If they go with any of the first 3, with the greatest of respect to those 3, there's no way Kane stays. I mean, you imagine that conversation. Daniel Levy saying to Harry Kane, listen, I know you talk possibly about going, but I'm going to persuade you to stay. Do you know why? Because Eddie Howe's coming to manage this club. He's out the door like a shot. You say it to Gareth Bale, well, all right, I'll be off somewhere else then. And you were right, he did come out and say, I'm getting fit for the Euros. He will want to play Champions League football if possible. He won't want to play in the Europa League, never mind Europa Conference or whatever they call it. So I think this is the management decision.
I'd rather have Ryan Mason than Graham Potter, if I'm honest.
Really?
Well, he's played 3, he's won 2. We're playing some attacking football. I mean, what's Graham Potter going to do different to what Ryan Mason could do?